Welcome to RV to Freedom Live with
Hi.
Karenza and Brandon.
Sorry, I jumped the gun.
That's okay. You see, there are a lot of comments already on the post tonight. We're going to get started. We're out here actually casino camping tonight.
Yes, so if you hear a faint sound of a generator, it's one of our neighbors down the way a little bit, but it's been nice. We didn't have a reservation for the weekend, so we snuck into the casino. We didn't sneak in. They let us stay here.
Yeah.
And we've been hanging out.
Yeah. We had a state park reservation before, and we're going to another state park, and it's kind of our in-between here, hanging out. It's been pretty nice.
Yeah.
So welcome, everyone who's here tonight. Like I said, we're Karenza and Brandon. If you don't know us already, if you guys are hanging out in the RV to Freedom Facebook group, you probably know us. We do help future nomads smoothly transition to full-time RVing, and we do that a multitude of ways.
We do it in our RV to Freedom Facebook group that she just talked about. We do it on our RV to Freedom page where we're broadcasting this. We have rvtofreedom.com, our website, and we have a course for all of you that are serious about getting on the road called Roadmap to Full-Time RVing, where we help you with all of this stuff and a lot of other stuff that helps you save a ton of money so you don't screw up like a lot of us did, us included.
And that's not only in the past. We had a little incident today, didn't we?
Yes, I learned today, which I should have known better, is don't try to take the screen off of the fantastic fan in the ceiling while the fan's still on.
That seems kind of obvious.
Yes, but when you're hot, and it was hot in here, and I was frustrated, I pulled it off, and then I twisted it and shoved it into the fan. The fan's okay. The screen didn't survive. So that's something else on the list. Add it to the little list of RV things to take care of.
Right. Right. And of course, we're kind of going to middle of hard to get place things.
Yeah, it might be a temporary fix until we can get packages sent, because we're going to be at a state park, and it's a little bit tougher to get packages at a state park. But we'll deal. We'll deal with having a little bit less screen on our ceiling. So, hey, Brian and Nancy, Keith, Patricia, Heidi's here.
Heidi's a downsizing expert, too.
Yeah, I know.
So we better be
She's here
spot on here. Yeah. Richie and Karen, Mabel. All right, guys. Oh, and Susan has just 9 months to go.
Nice.
I'm starting to think about downsizing.
Just started to think about it. You're already behind. I'm just kidding. So we're talking about downsizing.
Yeah, that's great. So has anyone started downsizing yet? Have you guys started this at all? Or are you looking at your house or your apartment, or, as we like to say, sticks and bricks?
Yes.
And you're looking at all your stuff and going, I don't even know. I don't even know how I'm going to get through this. Just
light a match and walk away.
Right?
Let the insurance take care of it.
You feel overwhelming to get started on this thing and get in there. So hi Susan. I know she's trying to downsize. She's already posted it on there. Plus she's a student, so she's said that we've seen some progress from you. So I know you're still in the midst of it, but you have made progress. I've seen it.
Yes, and Angela is starting. Nancy is getting there a little bit. And Doug, that's a good step. Don't add anything new. You'll have less to downsize later. So, exactly.
That was the first step we took. So.
Yes. Yeah. And it was probably 2 years out for us, where we stopped purchasing big, expensive things like a new couch that we kind of needed. And we got a cheaper couch to get us by, because we knew it was all we're getting rid of it all. We're getting in an RV, and they come with couches. So.
Okay, Nancy, I have to ask. You've lived in your house since 1895.
Whoa.
So you were either much older than we thought, and congratulations on making it this far, or it's a family home, or you switched two numbers.
Yes. I'm going to go with the number thing.
But either way you go at it, that's a long time to accumulate stuff. And we know we all have boxes that we've never opened from the last move.
Yes. We don't have that anymore. And it's pretty weird. We do still have things though that we find. They're like, oh, I didn't know we still had this in a little tiny RV. We still find things we didn't know we still had. Berjit said she had some trouble
the video.
with the video, so I'm just checking on my phone. If everybody else is having good, clear video, let us know. If you're having fuzzy video, let us know. But yeah, so
Nancy flipped the two numbers. So okay, 1985 makes a lot more sense, but that's a lot to go through. Oh my gosh! Wow, yeah, that's like over 30 years, 33 years now.
Yeah, we still got video, so hopefully she can refresh and keep on trucking. If somebody wants to let Berjit know to try to refresh her feed, and then it might work for her again.
Appreciate it. Thank you. So yeah, let us know. I mean, how does it feel trying to get through all of this stuff? I mean, I know how I felt, and I was overwhelmed. You think for us, we came from the last place we were at before we took off full-time. When we decided to go full-timing, we were in an apartment around New York City, just in New Jersey, like right on the border there. So you think, okay, well, they must have been in a small apartment. But we actually had a decent-sized apartment because that's why we lived in New Jersey and not in Manhattan. And
we had it packed full of junk. I had a
full
rolling toolbox.
So much storage in that apartment. So much storage in there. Closets just galore. And yeah, we had it packed, and we couldn't, it was harder to, you couldn't just have like garage sales. You were in this apartment. Yeah, it was tough. So when we went to move, we rented I think it was a 24-foot U-Haul. Is that the first one or the second, the one they gave us?
It was a bigger one. We got a big U-Haul.
Well, we tried to rent the small one.
We tried to rent a smaller one, and Hurricane Sandy came and flooded the U-Haul lot. But we rented, they gave us a bigger U-Haul, and it was meant for 2 bedrooms. So we were like, oh, that's plenty. We only have 1 bedroom. And we packed it. We had professional packers come. They packed it floor to ceiling. Every square inch was packed. We still threw things in a dumpster when we left. And so, yeah, we had too much. And then we moved to a house. We rented a house for a year while we were helping out with some family stuff and doing the whole RV transition. And
we just brought all that stuff, and we threw most of it in the garage. We knew that there was a lot of it that we did not need, we did not want. And it was just so much stuff. And I'm glad to say that Bridget is back. She had to go to her laptop.
Yeah.
She can't get it back on her phone. But good. But yeah, it was just so much stuff. And it was a small house that we rented there too.
Yeah.
And we did that on purpose. 'Cause why would we need a big house? We were going to live in an RV, right? So we did that, but it was it just felt like we could never get through this.
Yeah.
Never get through all of it.
So it happens to all of us, even those of us who live in apartments and small spaces. And of course, all of you that have lived in your house forever, because you've accumulated stuff. You had all this space and you just kept filling it, and you've raised families in the house, and you have memories and keepsakes and things that have been passed down. All that stuff you have to deal with. So let's talk about how we're going to deal with some of this.
Yeah. So we're just going to go over 5 tips today. You can go through different things. I'm sure there's tons of stuff different methods as you go through. But we want to give you 5 solid tips that can get you started. And if you stick around, we're going to give you a link where you can download a Kickstart guide that will give you a kick in the pants and get you started downsizing.
And remind you some of these tips and give you a few extra tips to keep you moving. So let's get going. Tip number 1. Prioritize.
Yes. You need to decide, I should say, what is important to you, what you will need in this new RV life. Or, hey, there might be people watching this aren't planning on full-time RVing and just want to downsize because it's a big thing now, right? We don't want to have as much stuff. Yep. But know what you will need and make that priority. Make sure you're keeping space for that. Because
that first, get your needs first. Like you need clean underwear. You need
make sure you have a drawer to put some underwear.
If there's 2 of you, you need enough dishes for 2 people. You can decide later if you need dishes for more people, but you need the basics. Make sure that stuff fits first. Then you can worry about the next part.
Yeah. because that's going to be the most important thing. So make sure you have the space, you have somewhere that you can fit that stuff, and don't put your Beanie Baby collection on top of instead and throw out your pots and pans.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, things like that.
Be super honest with yourself. Is something a need or is something a want? You can deal with the wants, and you can have some wants in your RV. I have some weird wants in my RV.
Yeah, you can say that again.
But do your needs first. And once you have all your needs kind of segregated and separated, and I need all that stuff, then you're going to look at that stuff and you're going to be like, that's a lot of stuff. And then maybe you're not going to want to pile so many wants on top of that, because all of a sudden you're going to need a bigger RV or a trailer or something else to bring it along with you.
Right. Ow. All right. Let's go to number 2. The other big tip that will help is to chunk it. And what we mean by this is you're looking at everything and it just looks overwhelming. I mean, you've got a whole house full of stuff. Don't look at it that way. Don't think about it as this enormous, I was going to say magnitude, but enormous, giant pile of things, of stuff that you have to go through. Break it up and chunk it out, and it becomes easier to do. You don't have to look at it as you've got to go through your whole house. Maybe Saturday you need to go through one room. Maybe after work you need to go through a closet.
Yeah, and if those things are too big, just keep shrinking it down smaller and smaller. I mean, sometimes it's just get up and clean out that junk drawer. Everybody has that stupid junk drawer. Just get in and tackle something like that. Do something small, get a win, and keep moving.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got some tips with that too in the Kickstart guide about where to start and everything.
Yeah. So the next tip is a fun one. Ohio. Just send everything to Ohio.
They'll take it all.
They'll take it all, and they'll pay you for it, and you don't need it anymore. No, this means only handle it once.
So you want to set up like bins or boxes or piles.
Or rooms in your house.
Oh, yeah, rooms in your house. We have your keep, your sell, and your donate. And you pick that item up and go, okay, this I have to keep. This I must sell. You're not putting a maybe pile together because everything's going to go there. You just handle it once, put it down, it goes in a pile. Don't overthink it. Don't go crazy things, because you don't want to like just keep building a pile of stuff to keep going through and going through. And
that's where that priorities helps too. Things you need to keep, put them in that pile. Then all of a sudden you're like, okay, that pile's getting pretty big. I got to get rid of some stuff. And then put it in the sell pile, put it in the donate pile, like just set it free. You can't take it all with you in the RV. You can't take it all with you in life. And in the end, think about what's going to happen when you're gone with your stuff. It's probably all going to get divvied up and sold off and donated anyway. So think about that when you're going through it. You got to be a little bit brutally honest about the stuff, because it's just stuff, and don't let the stuff weigh you down.
Right. Absolutely. It can very well do that. See, Bridget gave a full set of dishes to her niece. That's very nice. So that was like a good donate, I'm sure your niece could use that. And now they're still in the family too. So you can eat on them when you go visit.
Hi, Jane and Frank and Marie.
And Marie's in one box, one bin, one day at a time.
And Paul got lucky. He made the cut that Tiffany said.
Oh, I just wasn't. I was just still reading that. One day at a time, and take a stretch break when you start overloading.
Yes.
Which is very good too. Yes. Because especially when you're hunched over, you really are moving, going through this stuff. You definitely need some stretch breaks in there.
Yeah.
So yeah. So she's slowing down and going through all of that stuff.
So Paul said he did make the cut, so that's good. I'm sure the dogs were first on the list, and then like some kitchen appliances, and then some plates, and a few cups, and a giant bottle of vodka, and then Paul. But at least he got in there, so
right.
That's good.
And they've been on the road over a year. It's still downsizing, which it does. It's not a magic thing. When you finish go into the RV, you're done.
We're doing it too. We literally have things on eBay right now because you start accumulating things again because it's our nature, and then you shift gears, shift hobbies, shift RVs, and then all of a sudden you need to start moving things away. Or your bays just get annoying because anytime you go in a bay, it's too hard to get anything out, and you get frustrated with it. So you rip everything out and lay it out on the ground in the state park, which we did 2 weeks ago, and you spend all day packing it back in and then figuring out what to get rid of because you just want this to be easy. The easier you can make it, the more fun it is. Does the downsizing ever quit? No,
really.
Not really.
It's you get better at it, and you have to. We call it like a purge every so often. It's like spring cleaning. You go through it, and because you realize you haven't been using stuff for a while, and you need to make room for other things that you might want to use. So, you just got to keep on top of it. It's not something that has to drain you, like going through a house and getting this first one done. It is time consuming, and it's emotionally hard. It can be hard, and there's a lot to it, and it can be draining. When you're in the RV, it's not so bad.
No,
because you're already doing it, and you've let go a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, things are smaller already. The things you have to downsize, like this little closet above me, we did the other day, but it's small. It takes a couple hours at the most to get through it and fully do it. And then your habits will start to change too. If you're traveling a lot, you're going to be more interested in the experiences and doing this stuff, and maybe getting a sticker or a magnet or a pressed penny or something like that. But you don't have room to keep all this stuff, so you stop buying all this stuff, and then there's no more stuff. And so, as long as you can keep that under control and not start filling the RV, because you have to watch the weight on these things, because it's just going to cause other problems if you don't. So the RVs are pretty good at keeping you under control, as long as you don't get one that's so big you can keep filling it up.
Yeah. All right. Should we get back to number 4? Okay, we're talking about memories versus keepsakes. And this is one of those kind of emotional attachment items. We all have them. There's things that when you look at it, it invokes a memory. And the thing is, do you want to keep the object, or is it more about the memory?
Yeah, because sometimes it is just the memory that's really special to you. It's not that piece of wood that's nailed together over there. So can I take a picture of it and look at the picture later and be like, oh yeah, I remember having that. I remember building it or whatever with my family. And that's the memory. It's still going to bring up the same memory. So really try to think hard as, again, being brutally honest about things. It's like, it's not so much that clay ashtray my kid made in elementary school. It's more when he gave it to me and he was so proud about it. So I'm going to take a picture of it. I'll ask him if he wants it. He's going to say no, because he doesn't. And then just let it go, and you'll have.
Or maybe you have a photo of him giving it to you. You know, if you have that type of stuff, that can mean a lot more than the actual object. Yeah.
So you don't have to keep every one of those things, and think about it hard. Take pictures. It's easy to take pictures now. It's easy to store pictures. Yeah. You can even print them out, put them in a little album. Every once in a while, you can pull out the album and flip through it. I mean, Prensa pulls out. We have our wedding album in here, and she pulls it out every once in a while.
I pulled it out on our anniversary.
Yeah, well, that was once in a long, long while. But she pulled it out, and we look at it like, oh yeah, I remember being young, and lighter. But yeah, so
I mean, there's certain things that maybe you do want to keep, and something that really means a lot to you, and so maybe that is something you want to bring with you. But look at it and really, like you said, be brutally honest. Is it really something you want to keep and you want to see every day, and that you will make sure that you have a space for and the weight for?
Yeah.
Or is it really just about the memory? And again, there's like Bridget gave. Was Bridget? that gave her the plates. Yes, the full set of dishes to her niece. Maybe there's somebody else in your family that wants some of that. No, like some of the stuff that really just means something
The
to
macaroni
you.
necklace.
The macaroni necklace. Probably not. But
if you do have
but if there's an antique, maybe something.
Yeah,
like
if there's
that.
some special antiques that have been passed down, then you don't just throw them away and take a picture and be like, hey, remember that thing? But I know a lot of parents, my mom included, like to keep all the little things from our childhood growing up, every school paper, all these things, with this idea that one day we're going to want them, and they're gonna have them for us, and they'll be able to give them to us, and we'll be so proud that they saved them. Ask your kids if they want that stuff. A lot of you probably, your kids are grown up and they're adults now, and they have their own space. Be like, hey, I saved the macaroni necklace and the popsicle stick ornaments that you made. Do you want these? And you're probably going to find that they'll either nod and smile and take them, and you'll never see them again, but they'll keep them in their attic and not your RV, or they'll say no, because people these days just aren't as connected to accumulating all that stuff and saving all that stuff.
A lot of people are downsizing, not just RVers.
Yeah.
So there's a big trend for that, and rather than having a bunch of stuff, a bunch of old things, or even sometimes a bunch of antiques and things that have been in the family, you have to learn that not everybody wants that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
They want their own things, their own style. They only have so much space. They're living in smaller places, and they're not filling all the rooms or all the nooks and crannies.
Like Birgit said, she kept what was usable, but she gave the rest away to her family, but she knows the next generation doesn't appreciate the good china. Yeah, because when we grew up, the good china was the china we could never touch, never run near that cabinet because it might break, never get in there. It was always the annoying china. Even for us, like when we registered for our wedding 17, 18 years ago, we didn't have good china on our list. We had, more utilitarian plates that are nice looking that we like, and we still have them today. No, we don't. We have Corral now. That's a long time ago. I don't know where I'm going, but
not in the RV.
But even at our wedding, people were giving us some of those more traditional gifts, like the big pewter platters and the big crystal things, and we went right back to the mall and returned them right after the wedding because, things are changing. Yeah, and we knew we wouldn't have cause to use that. Type of stuff. Right.
I mean,
we're not that fancy.
Right. We're not hosting the family dinners that need to be on anything fancy. And a lot of that has gone fairly casual too.
Although if you do have the room for your good china and your silver in your RV, I think it would be hilarious to like come over to your RV and you'll have like the table set and candelabras and the good china and the crystal and everything else, because that would be awesome. Because most of the time it's the paper plates with the wicker holders and plastic cups and stuff like that.
Kids said no to near everything but furniture.
Yeah.
And that's true. That happens a lot nowadays.
So think about those memories. Think about, do you need the thing, or do you just need the picture of the thing so you can remember the memory?
I was thinking that too, Paul. It was like 17 or 18 years ago, and I'm like,
well, when we registered, it was before our wedding, so it was 17 to 18-ish years ago. Whatever.
It's like, I'm gonna just let that slide right now.
Look it up on my Google Calendar later and remember. I'll open the pictures up and figure it out. It's 2001.
Right. I was going to say, we've got a pretty easy year to figure out.
Okay. And then the last tip that we started off with was
start early. Start now.
Yes.
It really doesn't matter when you think you're doing this. If it's a few months from now, if it's a few years from now, there are steps that you can be doing, and you should be going ahead and going through some of it.
It's one less thing you're going to have to worry about when you do full-time, because you're already living smaller, simpler, lighter. You haven't bought a bunch of junk.
Right.
You gotten rid of a bunch of stuff. And then you're like, oh, I could live on a bicycle. I don't need an RV.
Yeah. Stop accumulating things if you're years out. That if you are even a year, even 2 years out, go ahead and start going through things,
Mm-hmm.
because this is the longest part of the journey to get to RVing.
Yeah.
To get full timing. And the hardest too.
Yeah, and especially if you want to make money
toll.
off of this stuff, go ahead and start working at it, because it takes time to sell things, especially if you're trying to sell things one at a time. Because you'll run down to the end and you'll have to get out, and you'll have a big pile of stuff you wish you sold, and then you'll have to just give it away cheap or free, or then you can donate it and get the tax write-off. But if you're trying to use that as some extra money to help fund your RVing, then yeah, keep going.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things. Just start. Yeah. And that's all I can say. Just start. And hey.
And like literally start right after this.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, we've got the Kickstart guide to help you get started. No, Brand. Sorry. No, I know, but it's not this side. It's this side will get you there. That's what it is. So
she's trying to paste it.
I'm trying to paste it.
She's going to paste in the Kickstart guide. You can download that. There's these tips plus more tips on getting started downsizing. And then also, literally after we get done with this, go grab something, throw it in the trash. Just go do something.
Something that
because you got to take action.
Yeah. So that's the link. It's go.rvtofreedom.com downsizing. And there's some other tips in there to get you moving on this and get you started on there. We've got like stuff about one of the easiest ways to get started.
You see what Heidi said? She says, how many pens do you need? How many table linens? How many towels? We've all got too much. Get rid of them now. Krenza, get rid of some of these pens. She's got pens everywhere, even in the RV. There's pens everywhere.
I have a problem if they still work. I feel very bad throwing them away. When they don't work, go. But yeah. It's one of those things. It's one of the hardest things to go through on this path to get to full-time RVing, because it's an emotional toll on you. Yep. This is like years of stuff that you've collected, and as humans, we're very attached to our things, and it becomes part of us. We feel like it's giving up part of us, giving up our past.
And that joy that you had when you bought it, and then if you used it or shared it with people, it was like, yeah, it's part of you. But someone did say, and it might have been Heidi who said it, but someone said it, we don't need to live in museums. There's other people that can catalog and organize and put things in museums for us to go back and study. Just have enough. Have what you need and go live, because you're going to start filling your minds and your cameras and your life with all these new adventures and new travels, and you need space for that. If you're full, you don't have space for new stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, do it. Download this guide. It'll help you out. It'll get you started. And then after this, after you download the guide, pick up something, throw it in the trash, be done with it. And I liked, what was that top one? Adina just had a question just about RV stuff. We found that we need the same kitchen items in the RV that we do in our home. Pretty much yes, but what you want to avoid is what we in Alton Brown call unitaskers. Yeah. You don't want any of those like things that you buy in the specialty kitchen shops in the malls or touristy areas that do one thing.
Or Bed Bath & Beyond has a lot of them.
Yeah,
and they're very enticing.
A thing that's made to slice bananas. That's a knife. You don't need a special plastic tool for that because you don't have space for it. But yeah, we have Krenza likes to cook, and we had a nice set of all-clad pans before we started. They found a space in the RV. They were a need/want. If it really came down to it, we could have sold them and bought smaller pans, but they were a big priority. She likes to bake, so we have a lot of baking stuff. Baking pans, the big ones aren't going to fit in your RVs. You're probably going to need smaller ones. But a lot of the same kitchen utensils, yeah, we still have them. We still use them. So you don't need to run out and buy anything special like Camping World, like special RV kitchen gadgets. But just try to avoid unitaskers, anything that's only meant to do one thing. unless that one thing is just you love it. Like if you love homemade ice cream and you need to have an ice cream maker
and you plan to use it,
it often,
which if you are, come hang out with us.
Yes, definitely. We had one RV friend with an ice cream maker. We're like, oh, this is very nice. I like this. But we don't have space for it, so we don't have one. We'll just follow him around when we need it. So.
I was trying to find, somebody asked about collections, and I can't seem to scroll through. I know, I was trying to find it, but
yeah, someone asked about blue glass collections.
Right now. Yes. So, one of the things we talk about with collections is if it's personal to you and important to you, pick out your favorite. Maybe a couple favorites. If you have somewhere that you can display them, that would be nice. Glass, you got to be careful with an RV. You can totally do it. Look at some earthquake putty and things like that. But if it means a lot to you and you have the space, I would not take all of it, especially glass. That's heavy.
It's just heavy, yeah.
It's too heavy. But pick out your favorite piece or your favorite 3 pieces and make it, like, put it somewhere, make a space for it so that you can still enjoy it. And you're taking the cream of the cream,
cream of the crop.
Cream
of the cream.
Well, top of the cream. Whatever.
The curd? Is that the way?
That's not the curd.
I don't know cream. Ice cream. But yeah, take the best stuff.
Yeah.
Also, if your collection is substantial and well done, and maybe you're in the area where all this glass comes from, there might be a museum that would love to have it, even a smaller local museum where they could put it on display and share it with the world. Because, we don't need to live in museums. Collecting could be your thing, but it is a tough thing to do in an RV. Ask me about it sometime, because I'm all into axes, and axes are at minimum 3 or 4 pounds a piece, and I can't keep putting them in here because they weigh too much.
Right.
Yeah,
that's not happening. I think we'll stick with our smashed pennies.
Smashed pennies are good, but even those are starting to get heavy because we have so many of them.
And our stickers, but we're running out of room.
Yes.
More. Oh, the size. You just can't get around it.
Yeah. And Krenza has started being like Lucy in the Long Trailer and started collecting rocks everywhere. Her rocks are a lot smaller than Lucy's rocks.
Yes.
But that is something we also need to keep under control. And that's what we'll do. We'll be out looking at rocks. We're in Petoskey, Michigan right now. There's Petoskey stones, which is coral that's been fossilized, turned into rock. So we'll go out and we'll find some, but then it's kind of like, okay, we found 100 pieces. Well, this is the best one. Let's keep that one. And let's keep that one. And then we'll go look some more. And if we find one better than the few we kept, we'll throw out one we kept and take a better one. But we don't need to keep every little
We don't. We have to put a lot of them down. And most of these go to family and a friend who love all this stuff. Yeah. And then we keep a small one in a jar where we have the shells and the little rocks and stuff that
we found in different
places. And so that's like our memories type of thing, but it's kind of it's a decorative thing.
Yeah. And again, we just keep like one in there so we can remember oh, we got that in Petoskey, Michigan. We had a whole handful of rocks in there. We wouldn't remember what came from where or anything. And it would be pointless at that point.
Right. And I saw Kat and Marie were talking about once you're on the road and stuff, a lot of the campgrounds, some of them will have a community table. Sometimes it's just magazines and books, and you can switch out your books. And sometimes they'll take more, and you can.
When we moved from our previous RV into this RV is 10 feet smaller than our old one. So we had some stuff that just didn't fit, and we wanted to get rid of. We actually got rid of the chairs that came with this RV, the dining chairs, because they were ugly.
And they were huge. We had the folding chairs and the 2 big dining chairs. We didn't need all that. So 4 people aren't even sitting at this table. I don't know how they expect.
We talked to the campground owner, and he said, just put it all in there in the rec room, and it'll be gone by morning. And we did. We put the chairs in there, and they were gone within, I think I was putting them in there, and someone was asking, can I have those? And they took them. Now, he needs to learn about downsizing, too.
And so I think that they were trying to stage something, and that was totally like, okay, legit purpose here. But yes, don't always start taking things off of the table, because that's just because it's there and it's free doesn't mean grab it or you're just going to be in the same situation.
There's so many things we've grabbed off of free tables that just end up in the closets, and then we put them out at another free table later because we never use them.
Yeah.
I'm just reading comments here just to see what else is going on.
I'm going to pop in
the downsizing
guide so you guys can grab it. So we're rolling up here, finishing this show.
So
grab that Kickstart guide so that you can get a kick in the pants and move on with this. We've got some tips in there about where to start and what to do if you there's some things that you got to hold on to. So grab it because there is some good stuff in there. Some of what we talked about, but you need it written down to remind yourself. You need to hear things 3 times, right? To remember them. So
yes. So grab it. Throw things away. Ice cream's good.
Ice cream's
good. And Susan loves her garlic press. She's got to have her garlic press. If that's your thing, do it. I love garlic too. I actually ate a whole bunch right before we started this, so that's why we're sitting a little far apart. But Kim's right. You can do garlic with a knife. But I know garlic.
I did actually, and I'm not trying to dissuade you from it. If it works for you, it works for you. I did just see there was an article, and I didn't really read it, but I saw the headline about it not being a good tool. Like it's not really that good of a thing for garlic or something. So
that is one of the things though, where there are some unitasker garlic choppers that are a lot smaller than the traditional garlic press. But it's a relatively small tool. I mean, you can't start making exceptions for everything, but if you cook a lot and you use a lot of garlic and you like the tool, then you keep it. Like we have a nice big handled pizza cutter because we eat pizza. We cut pizza, and yes, we could cut it with a knife. I should have known
you were going there. I thought about that, but I wasn't even just putting it together with pizza.
Yeah, we could cut it with a knife. We could have a smaller pizza cutter, but we like this one. We had it. It works, and it gets its use. So sure, keep it. But yeah, there's a lot of those gadgets you see that like, oh, that's so neat for that one specific, like the banana slicer. Like, cut it with a knife. There's all kinds of those weird little gadgets, like the thing that you could put on the side of the cup that separates the egg and the yolk. And
there's so many weird things for eggs. So many things that you can do.
So yeah, we're not really seeing many more comments or questions. So we're gonna probably go walk into the casino and try not to donate any money, but they have a free Pepsi machine. So I'm gonna go hit that up. Yeah, it's my nightly walk. But if you guys are, you copy that. Funny. Oh no, it's there. As we mentioned in the beginning, we do have a course called Roadmap to Full-Time RVing, where we talk about everything you need to know to get your butt on the road. And if you're really serious about full-timing, we think it's an awesome course. There's a fly in here.
Oh, I wonder why.
Because we've made it, but there's a lot of people in our group too that also think it's an awesome resource. We have a private Facebook group where we talk about all these issues. We get really in depth. We don't hold anything back. And we really help you guys get out there, and everybody helps each other. Sounds like we're all going to be meeting up in Florida real soon too. So that's roadmap to fulltimerving.com. Did you post that?
I did. I didn't see it.
Oh, I think it's showing up.
I
don't know. Roadmap to fulltimerving.com.
I have it.
There it is. There it is. Turn on and off. Okay, whatever. I'm bad at the sales part of the thing, but anyway. I'm going to make sure nobody else has said anything. It's weird because all the comments just kind of stopped.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, Melanie's here. Shh, be quiet. Melanie's here. I don't know why. Anyway, that's all we have to say. All the comments just kind of stopped on here, so maybe we took care of everything, or probably Facebook just kind of froze up for a bit. So if we didn't see your question, we're not ignoring you. We'll answer them if we see them come in after we end the broadcast. So we will see you guys next Monday when we talk about other RV stuff.
We'll see you guys later. See you on the road. Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye. We hope you enjoyed this replay of our Facebook live show.
Join our Facebook community to participate in the live shows and learn how to live in an RV.
Go to rvtofreedomgroup.com to join the RV to Freedom Facebook group.
And to be notified about our next live videos and more, sign up with the link provided below in the video description.
We want to help you find your RV to freedom.